What?
Bobby, you got any words of encouragement for this evening? In game plan?
Wipe twice.
What's up, guys? I'm going to go through the 2018 deer season. Now, just to kind of give you a start, the summer and fall heading up into the deer season here in Oklahoma, I did a really good job, a lot better than I normally do, of getting out, getting things done. Here in Oklahoma, we can bait, so we have feeders filled. Usually we'll fill them with a mixture of corn and protein. I also have some food plots I put in. They're very small. This year I opted to do one plot in clover with brassica mix, and then another plot with purple top turnips, radish, and then a mixture of clover in it as well. The thing is, here in Oklahoma where we hunt, we have wild hogs, so planting things like corn, beans, or wheat are just kind of out of the question. Wheat and rye and oats you think would grow. Unfortunately, when you put that seed in the ground, the hogs smell it, they uproot it, and then your plot's gone. Speaking of that, one of my first trips out to the ranch this year, I was actually riding a side-by-side and came around the road. It was a unique circumstance. There was a helicopter that was flying over about the same time as I was. There was 4 boars in the road, or 2-track. It's not necessarily a road. I shut the buggy off and sat there for a minute. They had no idea I was there. I was 50 yards from them. I ended up starting the buggy back up and they ran off. This is crazy. Look at them suckers. There was a helicopter flying over right when I pulled around, so I don't think they heard me. Let's see if they hear me start this thing up. Kidding me. That's ridiculous. If I didn't have my lawnmower behind me, I could run them suckers down. That is crazy. Bye-bye, porkers. So I get things set this year, especially ready. Got the cameras going. I've got a giant in velvet. It's a magnificent buck. Big, wide, 10-point tall. He's got the age. He's got everything you could want. So I decide this is the deer. This is the deer I want this year. Had a couple other deer. One of them is a 9-point that I had in video at the end of 2017. Towards the end of the season. He showed back up. He's looking good. Still has the same frame. About a 120-inch deer. The big boy, turns out my uncle was getting pictures of him as well, Bobby. Well, Bobby took off opening day. I didn't get to hunt until, of course, October the 1st. Bobby goes out first evening. Guess what deer shows up? Here you guys are. A magnificent deer. Scored 166 inches. Great deer for Oklahoma. Okay, October 6th gets here. I get out to my stand, get to my first area. Unfortunately, this is the area where I was hunting the big boy that is no longer with us. Anyway, got to see some little spikes, some little action, some small bucks. It was heating up, but a rare October 6th cold front headed in that day with a strong west wind, which opted me to go hunt another area that I had set. I normally don't get to hunt until November. I knew there's some bachelor groups of bucks that still hadn't broke up that were there. Well, I went there and got to see a show. A really nice 8. I call him Super 8. Came out with a smaller buck, fed around for at least an hour and a half. Unfortunately, he was just across the fence and just out of range the entire time. I did get some great film. Had some encounters throughout the season leading up until November. Okay, unfortunately November I never did get a good shooter in front of me. I did some scouting on November the 16th, and you can see my brother Keaton in 2017, I got on film him shooting a doe. It was a weird deal. November the 17th, he hunted with me. We hunted that morning together in a blind. We went into camp for lunch. Only ones on the whole ranch that day. Decided to go back out early. As we parked the side-by-side, I'm getting out, and my brother says, "Get the camera, get the camera." I look up, and there's 2 doe bedded not 30 yards in front of us. And they're just watching us. They were kind of in the brush, but just watching us. Well, I get the camera. I'm kind of setting up. I get on one. Well, I go to reposition myself. The first one, she bolts. The second one stands up. Next thing I know, Keaton says, "Are you on her?" Got her. He hit her right in the heart and lungs. Didn't go 50 yards. Great shot. Ended up killing a doe. We didn't even walk away from the buggy and already had a deer to load up. It was a great experience. Something I'll never forget. Okay, back to November 17th, 2018. I tell Keaton, we're sitting in the dark in camp. I said, "Hey, how risky do you want to be? Do you want to take a big risk and go to an area where I know there is a doe, that's possibly one that's came in heat just because of that?" He first thinks about it. He said, "No." He said, "That's a lot of work to do in the dark because we would have to carry in a stand for a quarter mile and then hang it in the dark just so we could have a cameraman set." Well, with a little persuading, we opted to do it. We carried it in. I didn't take a weapon this time because it's Keaton's. November 17th is Keaton's day. It's his day to hunt. We get set. The stand's a little ratchety, but it's safe enough to hunt if the film in. Right off the bat in the morning, we have a small doe and Spike come in. We get some good footage of him. Then, out of nowhere from behind me, I hear footsteps. I swing around. Keaton can't see. I just see old, mature deer and some width. I couldn't tell what he was. I turned and told him, "Hey, it's a shooter." He said, "Get the camera." Man. Yep. That's that old 10. You got long. I heard it. I get the buck in film, and then, dummy me, I stop watching the camera, start watching the deer. I put the dang lens right on a limb. Of course, you can still hear. He made a great shot. The deer didn't go far. But chalk that up as a cameraman fail. Great deer, great recovery. Old mature deer. We guessed this deer at least 6.5, which is probably past his full potential here in Oklahoma. Okay, November 17th again. We're still on the ranch. Keaton gets his deer hung up at camp. We get back out. This time, he's got the camera. I've got the bow. We go to a blind setup that's actually a blind made out of cattle panels and burlap, what's brushed in really well. That's on the north end of our property. When we get there, we see a couple small bucks. One great potential buck. Nice deer. Can't wait to see him 2019.
Such a stud. He's gonna walk out the other side of this. He's kind of trying to sport at you. Man, that deer's gonna be a stud. I hope he sticks around. He's gonna go get down with it.
Okay. Fast forward Thanksgiving morning. I decide to go in and do a solo hunt, self-film solo hunt. This was a long trek in for me. This is a spot that is very remote, hard to get to. And I just decided, since it's Thanksgiving and I have extra time, I'm going to make the extra trek in. So I get in the dark. Unfortunately, on my way in, it was not the greatest, because not only did I get out of breath because of the steep terrain, I also crossed the path with 3 skunks. Fortunately, never got sprayed. I get in, get set, deer immediately start coming as soon as the day breaks. I had 7 does around me. They're eating various radishes, clover in around the plot. I finally decided to take a mature one. Well, she comes in and I muff the shot. I end up missing her just in front of her. They run off. Before I could even get back up to get my arrow, next thing I know, I turn around, there's deer coming again. Deer coming. I can't stop them. They're on the other side of me. I can't move the camera because I have the camera set up on the food plot side of me. So what I end up having to do is put the camera between me and the tree and then shoot around it. Well, I ended up making a shot on a doe. Unfortunately, it was not a good shot, as you can see here.
Meh.
Well, before I even get down, here comes more deer. A nice little buck. It's got some potential for such a young deer. Can't wait to see him in about 3 years. Okay, so season wound down into the year. We finally got a little snow. Had some deer come in. Unfortunately, that's 2018. No deer on the ground for me. But you can tell I'm super jacked, super ready for 2019. Stay tuned and we'll have a video coming soon to show you what that entails.